My brother, unjani?
Ngiyaphila njani mfowethu?
For sure. Coach Siyabonga Mzila, Umvoti FC yase KZN SABC Motsepe League.
Yes.
How are you doing today, my brother?
I'm okay, and you, sir?
Oh, I'm very well. Before we get into football matters, my brother, let's just get to know you. Who is Siyabonga Mzila? Where are you from? What kind of a person are you?
Okay. My name is Siyabonga Mzila, but I'm known as Masiya. I grew up at a place called Umvoti, and here in Greytown, but I'm based in Durban. I'm a person who loves football, kakhulu. I'm 38 years old, turning 39. So yeah, that is Masiya Mzila.
Besides football, what else does Masiya like, or we are just obsessed with football?
Hey, I'm very passionate about football. I only love anything that has to do with football. Whether it's a reading about football or watching football, anything that has to do with football, especially soccer.
Okay, tell us then about this football journey of yours. When does it start, and how do you get to be where you are now?
Okay, the love for football started when I was young. I played football. At the age of 7, I was already playing football. Primary school, I played football. High school, then I play LFA teams, SAP. Then there was a team that called Chesterville, Castlemaine United in nearby Chesterville. That's where I play for SAP. Then I broke my arm there. That's when I stopped playing. It was 2006.
So 2006, you said you are hanging your boots now.
Yeah, I hang my boots at an early age because of I broke twice. In fact, I broke twice in my hand. So
were you a goalkeeper then?
No, I was a defender. I was a defender, but I had to stop because ingalo yami ibingasekho right. Yeah.
So when you stopped, did you go into coaching immediately, or there was maybe a gap in between?
There was no gap in between because at that time when I broke, I was at peak in terms of playing. I was hungry for success. I was staying with people who were playing professional at that time, so I wanted to push. Then I broke. Then I decided no, I had to do something that will keep me in football. Then I went to study sport management at Rossburn College in Durban. I studied sport management. Then I did my license under SAFA. This was early 2014, 2015. Then at that time, I started coaching at my local teams, under 13, under 15, 17.
Before we get into that, most people, if you ask them, would say, why didn't you make it professional? Everyone says, if it wasn't for an injury, I wouldn't make it. But looking at how you played at that time, do you think if it wasn't for the injury, chances are you were going to make it professional?
That was my belief. I believe I would have made it, not because I was so talented, but I was so passionate and I was a hard worker. And my friend, actually, at that time, he was playing for Amazulu. They called him Tutuzi Maraba Cele. So he was the one who I was inspired by him. When you have a friend, you staying with him, but on Saturday you watch him in TV. On Monday you sit with him, you watch the soccer zone. It's like a dream. So I wanted to go on like him, to make sure that I play professional. So I was pushing myself.
So okay, then you call it quits. Obviously, you study sports management. Which team would you say this is the first team I coached?
When APC Motsepe League, or
no, just when you immediately after Rossburn College, or during that time, the first team that you'll say this is the team that I coached?
My first team was Toronto FC. It's later changed to be a Forum Stars. So it was my local team. Yes.
So at the time, you didn't have any licenses, or you were just starting?
That was my start. I didn't have the license at that time. I was studying sport management, but I didn't have a coaching license.
So how did it come about that you end up coaching in Toronto?
It's because of a passion I had. Then after seeing that I won't play football, so I had to find a way to be involved in soccer. Then we decided with my friends to form a team in my local. We formed a team. We called it Toronto. So I was playing under Tuzuma LFA. Yes.
And how did you do that team?
I did well. It did well because at that time you only spend one season. Then because of the passion and because of the hard work that we were putting in, we decided to register as a we call it DNT. It's a Durban Central Football Association. At that time, when we were playing at Durban Central, it was a league that looked professional in terms of how they ran it, and the ground was so perfect. Then I'm a ground selection. Yes.
Okay, so you're at Toronto, you're playing in that league now. How long were you there with Toronto before you made your next move?
Toronto has been there, but I spent 2 seasons with Toronto. I spent with two seasons with Toronto. Then a season later, I did my license. Then after I did my license, I joined another team. It was a SAP, but it is no longer there now. SAP, I didn't spend much with that team. I only spent, I think, half season. Then.
Were you fired?
No. I'll call, maybe I was promoted because I was recommended to work with a SAPC team at that time.
Okay, which team was that?
It's Wembezi Juventus. It was based in Durban, but it was from that side at Wembezi. It was 2014 season, 2015.
So yes. That is how you enter APC Motsepe.
That's Wembezi Juventus was my first team in APC Motsepe League. I remember the time I was so young, but I think I was one of a youngest technical member in KZN Motsepe League. The late Sipho Makatini is the owner of the team. He's the one who introduced me to APC Motsepe team. Yes.
And how did it go with Wembezi?
Hey, I always say in this Motsepe League I learned the hard way. I learned the hard way because my first season in APC Motsepe League, my first season with Wembezi Juventus, they got relegated. I had to find another team that is on that level to work with, just to upgrade my knowledge.
So at Wembezi, were you an assistant coach or a head coach?
At Wembezi, I was both manager and assistant coach because we only had one coach at that time. I had a sport management qualification, so Mr. Makasini said because he doesn't have more money to hire more staff, I have to work as a manager, also as an assistant coach, of which I didn't have a problem because all I wanted at that time was to learn about APC Motsepe League, of which I have gained a lot of learning from him as well.
Yeah, speaking about that, you are correct. It's very normal within the APC Motsepe League, even the regional league, previously known as SAP, that you'll find people with doing multiple jobs and doing multiple roles because obviously there's no financial support and owners are unable to hire. Do you think that perhaps from the perspective of learning, like you said, it's a good thing, you learn multiple roles within football, but in terms of the team itself, does it not divide the attention of the individual? Sometimes you are dealing with issues of management, cards and all these other things, where else you also have to assist the coach in terms of coaching?
To me, I won't say it's did, because I knew how to separate the two. The management part I did before the game. I know the card, who is playing, who's not playing, who's registered. But during the match, that's where I act as an assistant coach. And during the training days, I work as an assistant coach. But I had to separate the two. Yes.
You've relegated Wembezi now.
Not me.
What happened?
Hey, there were lots of things. You know, KZN Motsepe League, it's very competitive, and you have to know your story. You have to have a strong team in order to compete. To compete in, let alone to compete to compete for promotion. Just to be in the APC Motsepe League, it's very competitive. So at that time, when the Juventus was a big team, and I think it was one of the oldest team in KZN Motsepe League. But I think I came at the wrong time, and maybe the timing was not right because financially, we were not right. Sometimes we could not camp, Sometimes we could not train because of finance. We didn't have a clubhouse. So I think those things that's contributed to a team ukuthi i-relegate. Yes.
And after that, where to for you? Then
after that, I got a call the following season from the Nkemele brothers. That is the Ntswane brothers. That is the Nkemele Tswane and the Tsepo Tswane. They called me.
The former Amazulu star.
Yes, the KZN legend. Yes. So they brought me to their team. It's called Kwamashu All Stars. Kwamashu All Stars. So it's a local team for me. Then I worked with them for 2 seasons.
And what was your role there? Was it assistant or head coach?
First season I was a manager. And then second season I was an assistant coach.
They were also in the APC Motsepe League?
Yes.
Okay. And how did those 2 seasons go?
Hey.
Don't tell me you relegated them.
Hey, I learned hard way. Okay, first season, I managed to help them and avoid the relegation because the team, when they brought me in, the previous season, they almost got relegated. Then I joined them the following season. Then we managed to avoid the relegation. Then we saved the team. Then we had to make sure that the following season they don't get relegated. There were things that we suggested. We sat down, we had a back-to-back meeting, the things that we had to do in order to keep the team in a Motsepe League. But unfortunately, the following season, they got relegated again.
I must see.
Hey,
I must see. Team number 2 relegated.
Hey,
So they got relegated in your second season, and
yes.
Now I think maybe after that, what then happens? Because now maybe people are looking at you. Hey, this guy was
exactly.
You had All Stars when you get relegated. Was it difficult to get a job after that?
Even though it wasn't that difficult, but I had to look at myself because sometimes people they talk. Someone they will say you are bad luck to a team. Sometimes you lose your self-esteem because I was asking myself, how come I want to win things, I want to be in this league, but somehow, somewhere, maybe it's a timing or maybe I joined the wrong team. Then I had to stop and look for a lower level team. Then I joined the academy. It is called the Confitness Academy. That was a season. I think they stay 6 months. Yes, it's 6 months. I work for Confitness Academy. I had to develop players. Have to gain my confidence. Then after that, I joined Tegwini municipality as a sport coordinator. I worked with Muslim municipality for a year. Then later, I decided, no, I'm ready now. I think I can do things. I've learned, I've gained my confidence. Then I'm ready to join a team. That's when I got a team. It was 2018 season, 2018 to 19.
And which team is that?
I went outside the province. I went outside.
Before we go outside the province, right? You are working in the municipality now.
Yes.
You have a job.
Yes.
With a stable salary. Why decide to leave that and go to, the world of coaching? You can be hired today, fired tomorrow. There's no stability, especially at this level.
Yeah.
What made you decide to leave a stable job and go to a world where there's a lot of uncertainty?
To tell you the truth, I didn't leave. I didn't leave. I joined municipality I had a contract, a 1 year contract.
Okay.
Then after my contract finished, then I had to find another job.
And which province did you go to?
I went to Northwest.
Language barrier?
Hey! I have a good zima. But because there we went there half season. Language barrier, it wasn't that too much because most of the players that we recruit the players from here, from KZN. We went with them at Northwest.
Yeah, because you were coaching in KZN, right? How do you go to Northwest? How do they know about you, that you are a coach and what you've done? How did that come about?
Club owners, they do their research, and the social media, I think it's also had influence, because you can post something here. It's maybe later you find maybe our viewers are more than 50. So the owner there, I got a call from one of my friends who I'm with at the moment. It's Coach Nzama. There was an offer in Northwest. The team was not doing well there. They were bottom of the table. Then he suggested that let us go there and work there and build our name and take it from there. But I had that thing of, what if this team, because this team, remember, this team was bottom of the table and it was second round.
Yeah.
And if I can tell you, they only had 1 point after 15 games. And that time it was one stream.
Which team is this?
It's a Glamour Boys.
Glamour Boys.
So they had 1 point. A second bottom team had the 14 points after 15 games. Then our Glamour Boys had 1 point after 15 games. It's a second round. So that means we only 15 games for second round.
Yeah.
So imagine we have to save the team. So we had to prove ourselves that we can do this. We have to prove to other people that we are capable coaches. We can do things.
Yeah.
Then we went there. The chairman told us, no guys, I'll support you everything. Just find players for me. Just find the players that will play and save the team from the relegation. Then we had to find players around here in KZN. He sent the pass. We took two players here. We went with them at Pretoria. That's how we formed. He released every staff, every member of
in this league.
Hey, it was a new team. Second round, it was a new team. Some of the teams that we play with the Glamour Boys, first round, they thought they will come up against the same team, but only to find it's a different team. Hey, Lapa, we did miracles. Most of the team, they couldn't believe. They came to our ground thinking they are playing with it.
Last round.
Same team from last round. First game we won 3-1. We set the record straight. Glamour Boys is back. We won 3-1. Second game we won again. You won't believe. Come the end of the season, we finished position number 12. We jump the second bottom team, who was then had 14 points when we started the second round, while we had 1 point. The team only collected 1 point from first round. But we finished at number 12 at the end of the season. Then we saved the team. Everybody was happy. Most of the people were asking, who are those guys?
Where did they come from?
Where did they come from? Because even the playing style, we were playing a very good football. That's how people started noticing us. That's how people started knowing about Coach Masiya.
Yeah.
Then after that season, I came back in KZN.
But now, why come back after such a good performance? You've done well for the team. One will then think, okay, you've saved the team from relegation. The following season it's time to compete. Why did you leave?
That was the aim, to start the following season and compete. We finished the season, we went back in KZN. The following season, the chairman brought other people to work with us. Didn't fire us, to be honest. He didn't fire us. He just brought other people to work with us. Some of them were like seniors to us. But you know, sometimes the football politics, it's ushaya. So we tried, but we could see that there were so many clashes between us who saved the team from last season and the people that were brought at that time. So we decided to leave.
Okay, which season is this now? The 2019-2020?
Yes, 2019-2020 season.
So
then
how long do you stay in that season? How many games do you think?
We only lasted for pre-season.
Oh, pre-season.
Yeah.
You didn't even start.
Yes, we only lasted a pre-season with the Glamour Post. Then we left because we didn't want to ruin our reputation. We didn't want to ruin what we've done the previous season. So we just decided, no, let's just leave. Then we start afresh somewhere.
And where did you start afresh?
Then I came back to KZN. I went to Kwabe United. It's also KZN APC Motsepe League. It's based in Stenga. Then I went there as a head coach. Now I was a head coach. Then I joined.
So this is your first time now you're the head coach in the team?
Yes. This is the first time. It's a halfway season. The team was not doing good. Then they brought me in to save the team again, because they had that thing that Coach Masiya, he went there and saved the team, the Glamour Boys. So maybe he can come with his magic and save the team as well. It was a season 2020-2021. Yes.
Okay. So how did it go there?
It went well, my brother. I think I also stepped my authority there, because even though you remember that season, it didn't finish because of the COVID. Yeah, it didn't finish, but I won all my games there, and it was looking promising. And its team was no longer in a relegation zone or in a relegation position before each season by stop. So I won my games. I never lost a game with the Kwabe United, even friend games.
You were winning.
I won friend games, official games, everything. I never even played draw.
Then what happened to Kwabe United?
Okay.
Because I know. Yeah, I said it.
All right. So that season I played. So my appeal, because of the COVID, they stopped the league that time. Most of our province are finishing season.
Yes, I remember.
Yes. Then the following season, I did a pre-season with them, because the aim was to make sure that I started pre-season. Then we challenge for league. Then I did a pre-season. Everything was promising. Everything was going well. Somehow, somewhere, there were clashes here and there. Then then I decided to leave.
But now, because Kwabe United, I said.
Yes.
Do you know
I left. I did a pre-season with them. Then I left. They hired another members. Unfortunately, that season they didn't do well. They got relegation. They were relegated. Yes.
Okay. Now, before we talk about your journey now at Umvoti, where you are currently at, what would you say is your football philosophy? How do you want a game to be played? If I were to go and watch a game, what things will I see that will say, team Masiya again?
I think that's I've showed that Pretoria. After I left Kobe United, I went outside the province again. That's where I did my magic. Masiya, my philosophy. Firstly, I believe in 4-3-3 formation. Philosophy, I mean, hard work, high tempo, quick movement of the ball, attacking team. Ngithi style sami into ongayibona kuyona i-team ethanda clear iphethe ibhola more than opponent. We have to spend more time on the ball than the opponent. Whenever we don't have a ball, we must make sure that we win position back as quick as possible. Because the more you have a ball, that means you have a control of the game. But when you don't have a ball, you don't have a control. But when you have a ball, you have a control of the game, whether to attack or maintain position. So those are things that I believe in. That's what you can see when we have a ball, when you see my team playing. Uzobona ibhola siliphatha kaningi than the opponent. You'll see a high tempo. You'll see a attacking team. That's all the things we will see.
As a coach in the APC Motsepe League, we know that the league is very competitive. Everyone is fighting for promotion, and at times results become more important than the philosophy or the style of play. How do you find the balance to ensure that you don't compromise what you believe in terms of the style of play, but also getting results?
Hey, my brother. Hey, you know, philosophy and our style, my style of play, obviously, si demand ukuthi ngithola ama results. So there's no way I can compromise because if your team is playing and attacking football, you create more chances to score a goal. So that's my style. We have to spend more on the half of the opponent. We have to make shots. You cannot have a goal without shots. So if your style is more attacking, you are bound to win the game. You are bound to win the game because you attack. Somehow, somewhere the opponent will crack. Then you'll get a goal.
Now, speaking about your philosophy, your style of play, you say that you like a 4-3-3, you like to dominate possession and attacking. Then what kind of players do you then look for to be able to play the way that you want to play? Because you can have the philosophy in your mind, but at the end of the day, it is the players who need to go out there and execute it. So what kind of players do you look for to be able to execute your game plan?
Before I look at the talent, I have to look at his behavior, because the first thing, it must be a discipline. When we talk about discipline, we don't only talk about discipline outside of football, also in the field of play. So those are things that I look at, discipline. Then the player have to be comfortable on the ball, have to be quick, because I demand a lot. I demand a high tempo. I demand a player who's quick with or without the ball. So those are things I look mostly in the player. Yes.
And when did you join Umvoti?
This is my second season with Umvoti. Before I joined Umvoti, I was with a team called Ali Tigers, but now it's called Val Professional. They are based in Gauteng. I went there. We had two streams, Stream A and Stream B. I became my team became a Stream A champion. Then we play a provincial playoff against the Platinum City Rovers. Yes. Unfortunately, we lost. Then they went to national playoff. That's how they got promotion to now. It was called Mzila League. It's a first division. Then after that season, that's when I joined Umvoti. I joined Umvoti as an assistant coach.
So you joined Umvoti in the 2021-22 season?
Yes, I joined Umvoti in the 21-22 season.
And previously, in the previous season, Umvoti went to the national playoffs.
Yes.
And then, obviously, when you came in, you had to maintain that. You can't go below that.
Yes, yes.
How did it for you? How did that first season at Umvoti go for you?
Even though we didn't start well, because the ultimate goal was to go to playoff again. But for me personally, it went well because I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the team. I learned a lot about Umvoti. I learned a lot from the colleagues that I was working with. So personally, I think I've grown. But for a team, it didn't go well because every season Umvoti has to go to playoff. If we don't go to playoff, we cannot take that as we did well. We did well only if we went into national playoff, then we got promotion to next level.
So come this season 22-23, again the mandate is the same. You have to go to the playoffs.
Yes.
So you've played 4 games so far. You've won 1, drawn 2, and lost 1. What do you think of the start that you have?
Honest, my brother, we didn't have a good start. But it's not all loss. As you said, we won 1, lost 1, and through we won 1, drew 2. Then we still have more games to play, and I can promise to you, my brother, we'll turn around. It was one of those. I'll say maybe we went through that rough patch, but come the end of the season, Umvoti will be there among the team that is challenging the league. In fact, the second round, you'll see that it's different from Umvoti from now, because our next game we will have to make sure we win, and we will win.
The 4 games you've played, you've only managed to score 2 goals. Yes. Are you concerned that you are not as sharp as you want to be in front of goals, and that might be a problem in trying to turn around the situation?
Yes, as a coach, that might be a concern, because we have to score goals. Our game are decided by goals, but Umvoti akuyona team escore amagoli amaningi, even if you can check the history. But I wouldn't say lokho kumele si rely more kona. We have to score goals. I'm concerned as a coach, to answer your question. I'm concerned we have to score more goals. We have to score more goals in the game, and our next game will set a record. We'll score more than 2 goals.
Your next game is away at Lemon Experience in Potchefstroom. Away games are always difficult, but you are confident that this is the game that you will turn things around with.
Yes. I believe we'll turn things around. We've worked so hard this week, and the boys are looking sharp. They are looking positive. They know we have to win. We put a trust on them. We put a trust on the work that we did here in the ground. So we believe we'll win. Come Sunday, we'll win.
Okay. Hopefully, we'll be watching that closely to see how it comes out. But as a coach, who would you say you draw inspiration from? Which coach do you look up to and say, look, the way he does things is something that I want to aspire to?
There are so many coaches, especially the KZN coaches. But uthola ukuthi ucoach no-coach khona into engi-inspire kuyena, nomunye khona into engi-inspire kuyena. Like the head coach of Richards Bay, both coaches, Ronnie Gabriel and Coach Pitso, those are coaches who I look up to them, because at some stage they've seen like APC Motsepe League, so they inspired me a lot. And Coach Mapudi with Golden Arrows is one of the coach I know who is very passionate about football. So omunye ucoach ongigqugquzela kakhulu mangibuka the way enza ngakhona izinto. And there's also my colleague as well, who I'm working with at the moment. I believe in him. I know he believes in me. And there's a coach also, Mangoba Mqinzi. He's a KZN coach. Coach Sundowns, I look up to him. There are so many coaches that I look up to him. There's Coach Cyril Mthembu. He once was my colleague. We talk a lot. I look up to. I don't only look up to coaches that are are we highest level only, because in football you learn from everybody. You learn from everybody how to do things. You draw inspiration from different people. So those are coaches that I draw inspiration from them.
APC Motsepe League, it's a league that is known for other things that are not so positive. People speak a lot about match fixing, corruption, bribery, and all these other things that happen in the game. We complain a lot about referees. What is your experience? You've been in the APC Motsepe League for a while, even outside KZN.
Yes.
What is your experience in terms of all these things that people speak negatively about with this, regarding this league?
Oh, hey, it's Motsepe League. That thing has been there, but me as a coach, things that are happening, but I cannot just bring a proof in it. It's him so or it came so 1 and 2 and 3. But even though we know it's an open secret that these things are happening, and somehow they influence our results, and you work so hard during the week preparing a team, only to find ukuthi our results are cooked. But we can say everything without a proof. Into isho ifana nento engekho.
So as a coach, you've never been approached to give away a game or make your team lose?
Honestly, I never come across with such a thing. And even if it's happened, I don't think I will allow that, because I'm a man of principles, and I want to go as far as I can with my coaching. So if I can allow that, they say you call me, you say I must sell a game to you as the chairman of the club. What will happen in future when I want a job from your team? Because you will think if I can be able to do that, that means I can also sell your team. So me personally, I won't allow that.
Tell me, okay, you've seen these things. Obviously, we don't have proof. We see and suspect.
Yes.
Is there an incident that you've seen and you told yourself, "Hi, this one, something is happening here. There's no way things like that can happen"?
Hey, Northwest, there it's happening. It's happening. But we will improve. I believe the team have to improve. But the scandal in APC in Northwest, there was this scandal where you saw a BMW in a ground in a stopping game. So those things are there. Everybody knows about it. Yes.
As a coach, obviously, you are still in the APC Motsepe League. You are learning and growing and want to one day perhaps reach the highest level. Have you set yourself a time frame to say, by this time I must at least be in the NFD, and after this I must be in the PSL, perhaps after this I must go overseas? What are your aspirations, and in terms of time frames, where do you think you'll be able to achieve your goals?
Even though I don't have a time frame, because I want to learn as much as I can in this league. This league is not easy. It's very competitive. So I want to learn as much as I can, so that whenever I get an opportunity to a next level, I have to do well. I don't have to come back in this league again because I feel there at a highest level. I'm set a time frame, but it is my wish. Maybe in 3 to 5 seasons I have to be there. But my aim for now, or my short goal, is to do well with Umvoti Football Club. Maybe is to take this Umvoti Football Club to that level. That is my short-term goal.
Obviously, as a coach, it's important to constantly improve yourself. You did mention that you studied sport management. You did your license. Was that the D license, right?
Yes.
At this stage now, which qualification do you hold, and what are you doing to improve yourself as a coach?
Okay, I have a D license, and then I have a sport management. Then I also did a level 1 first aid. I have a license C. Currently, I'm waiting to do my B license. Unfortunately, South African football currently, it doesn't offer a B license. You have to go outside of the country in order to obtain that qualification. But hopefully, as time goes by, South African Football Association, they will do the right thing. They will do the right thing, because as coaches we need to develop, we need to grow. So I believe they will do the right thing.
How important is it that you continue to learn to keep up with the trends in football?
It's very important, my brother, because you know, during Abojomosono era, and if you compare those time and now, we have to do our courses in order to improve the game, to improve ourselves, to improve the knowledge, and to cope with the modern game. Or in coaching in general, each and every coach have to learn, have to upgrade, so that angeke abe nama problem going forward.
Coach Masiya, my brother, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it, and hopefully the next time I see you will be at the national playoffs.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu, my brother, ngiyabonga kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho. Hopefully kuzokwenzeka lokho, hopefully.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.